Hi, my name is KathyLaDonna, and this is Soul and Vibration. Today is Monday, Moon Day, June 2nd, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 8 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to today's energy, adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, the number 8 energy deals with systems and cycles, but with today being the 2nd, today energy being the 2nd, the number 2 is a nurturing energy. The number 2 is a feminine energy. The number 2 energy could bring up some emotions today. With the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, we might have a hard time facing or dealing with those emotions, as we could find ourselves within ourselves looping, trying to understand something on a deeper level. With the day adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, today's a day where there could be big emphasis on power struggles, things coming up around deciding to go back to school, things coming up around finances and being a better manager when it comes to our resources, being a better manager when it comes to our energy, just being a better manager on a whole when it comes to the cycles that we engage in within our lives. With the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, and with us being within a 6-month, to me, some things could be coming up today around the things that we own, and feeling like there isn't enough money, we need more money. There are certain things that we want to own that would define success for us. And there could be reflection on time and when will it be that I have this, that, or the next. With Moon and Virgo, Moon is how we nurture ourselves. And with it in Virgo, we could nurture ourselves today by being super critical, super picky, just nitpicking at ourselves and sitting down and kind of looking at the patterns within our lives. Maybe we could be looking at certain patterns that don't do us any injustice, like certain patterns to justify that we're inadequate and that we're not enough, that we're not doing enough. Also too, with Moon and Virgo energy is an energy that likes to help. And with the Moon in Virgo, we're nurtured at the thought of helping so much that we could make a person a victim just so we can help them or fix them. When I say make a person a victim so we could help them or fix them, I think of how Virgo and Pisces energy sometimes can look out and, always see a person in need, someone to help, someone to rescue. And I feel like in certain situations, we look out and we see people that need rescue and that we think they need rescuing, but they truly don't need rescuing. And to a certain extent, we might be projecting onto them and their situation, and they're fine when it comes to their situation. But for whatever reason, we look down on their situation and feel like they need fixing, they need helping, when our help can hurt, because the fact that we're showing up and saying, let me help you, is saying that you're broken. So I think of Virgo energy, how it could be a very critical energy. And I think of how we could love someone so much to where we're being super critical of them and their lifestyle choices. But in the process of being so critical of them, in the name of trying to help them, we push them away, because being critical tells them that we feel like they don't have their lives under control. And even if they don't, that's their journey. Even if they don't, they know what's best for them, even if it doesn't seem that way. They're on the path that they're on. So when it comes to Moon and Virgo energy, I feel like with this energy, sometimes we could deflect from our own issues that need our attention and instead focus on someone else's situation. This could remind me of like the person that is being super judgy or critical of how someone else is living their lives, or how someone else's lives is a mess when their lives is a mess too, if they were being honest. So I feel like on a day like today, we could deflect from the things that we need to be focusing on within ourselves, and instead want to focus our energy and our attention on someone else. So, like I said, Moon and Virgo energy, similar to Pisces energy, is an energy that loves to help, that loves to serve. But we have to make sure that there is an agreement where we're showing up to serve and to give ourselves and our energy. Because this is where sometimes we show up and we help, and you may have felt like, I've helped this person, and they felt like, you didn't give me ish, you didn't help me, you didn't do nothing for me, because first of all, I ain't asked you for it. So you're showing up and you're doing this, and the next, and it's like, they don't even know why you're doing all that because they ain't ask you. And then in some cases, some people might take advantage of all you're giving and all you're doing and still feel like you didn't do nothing for them because they didn't ask you to do it. And in other cases, some people could feel resentful, with the person showing up and feeling the need to fix them and take everything that they're giving, but because they resent them for making them feel broken, showing up and choosing to fix them, it's like they take what the person has to give, but resent them at the same time when they're giving it. So this is where we have to make sure that there is a mutual agreement when we decide to show up, when we decide to give, when we decide to serve. With the moon and Virgo energy also, that energy can also cause us to, struggle with perfection. And to me, something is perfect. Like, I had to come to this realization within myself whenever I would find myself editing myself and fixing myself. And it's like, what am I comparing myself to? Because something is imperfect because we're comparing it to something that already is. In order for something to be perfect, we're modeling something that already is. So today's energy could bring up feelings of imperfection. And that's because we're comparing ourselves to someone or something. And for that, today we could find ourselves looping and even feeling a little bit emotional and feeling like we're not enough, we don't have enough. But like I said in yesterday's message, this is a month to become clear on your definition of success. The different things that come up today that might frustrate you or annoy you is to bring you back to your definition of success. So when it comes to the tarot, the spirit animal, we have the hyena energy. And the hyena brings me to, when you look at the hyena card, the hyena looks like all the hairs on its body has stood up. To me, it's almost looking like it's reacting to the phases of the moon. It's like the moon is exposing certain things to it, and it's creating some uncomfortable feelings. So when I look at the hyena energy today, I think of, like, for some of us, maybe something is being exposed to us, and from whatever is being exposed to us, it's a bit uncomfortable. It's hard to see. Also, too, with the hyena energy, I feel for some of us, we might feel like we need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to something when we really don't. I think of a person feeling like they have to start from scratch when it comes to doing something, and no, you don't. And also, too, with Moon and Virgo, I think of with Moon and Virgo and everything I mentioned with perfection energy within all of us. We could struggle with getting started when it comes to certain things because we feel like we don't know enough, we don't have enough experience, and we're just not prepared. And to me, Virgo energy would be the king or the queen of productive procrastination. And that's just a way of one protecting themselves from ever getting started. So I think of the person feeling like I need special equipment before I start doing this, that, or the next. Or I need to purchase this course or read this book, when really you have enough to get started. You have everything you need in this moment to get started. And you can't be wrong for sharing your own experience, because Virgo energy is big time afraid of being wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, because it will almost feel like being wrong is tied to one's worth and, who they are as an individual. So to me, you can't be wrong for sharing your own personal experience when it comes to a thing. And that's what we have to remind ourselves of if we're struggling with taking action or moving forward when it comes to certain things. So the moon in Virgo is squaring the sun conjunct Mercury in Gemini. So there's issues today around communication as far as how we're feeling on the inside, like what nurtures us. So with moon in Virgo, something about Virgo energy, I think of Virgo energy and wanting to have it right, wanting to do our best. And with, say, Mercury in Gemini conjunct the sun, Mercury and Gemini energy is curious for the sake of being curious. And I think of Virgo energy, I think of Virgo and Gemini, like, say they're siblings. They're both ruled by Mercury. And Gemini would be the sibling that's like, I'm going to launch my podcast and I'm going to use my cell phone to do it. I'm just going to go for a walk and talk about my experience, talk about a day in my life or story time about what happened. And that's Gemini energy. It's like, it's not overthinking it. It's just, it's just getting it out there, however it gets it out there. Where Virgo energy, on the other hand, is going to say, but that's not professional. That's not the proper way to do it. The people who have done it, they've done it this way and this, that, and the next. So I feel like with the struggle with Gemini and Virgo energy, Virgo wants to do it in an orderly and organized way, whatever it is. And Mercury conjunct Sun in Gemini wants to just do it for the sake of curiosity and experience. And I feel like life is all about creating and having experiences. So, our mind, Mercury, and our sun, the sun conjunct Mercury, is in a space where it's like, we're curious about doing certain things, but our inner world is saying, no, don't do it. So there's this disconnect, or there's this challenge where it's like our inner world is insecure or not feeling secure, dealing with insecurities pertaining to certain things. And our mind is just curious for the sake of being curious. Where I think of, like, say, Sun conjunct Mercury and Gemini, I think of like the person who, I saw something recently where this TikToker had started like a nutritional site and was selling a bunch of course and different things to people about how to lose weight. And she may have started out with the right intentions, but then over time, she ended up getting some weight loss drug, one of the popular ones that are out there. And that's the reason for her weight loss. And the audience caught a wind of it, and now she's getting backlash from it. Where I think of like the Gemini energy, where it's like, a person was curious and they jumped into something, but then later they're being held accountable for like the way how things, one thing led to the next and the next thing led to a next, and there wasn't enough transparency. And I feel like with Moon and Virgo is like, I just want to do things right. Like I want to do things right. I want to do things honest. Is what I'm getting when it comes to today's energy. So something might be coming up for some of us. We're thinking about starting a new cycle, or thinking about either going back to school for something or starting something new. But there's this battle where there's a part of us that just want to get out there and do it, and there's a part of us that don't want to do it wrong. And like I said, you can't be wrong for sharing your own experience. Like, I feel like when we try to show up as some expert of something and saying this is the way how it should be for everyone, that's when it becomes problematic, opposed to saying this is my journey, this is my experience. So when it comes to the tarot, we have the Magician coming out in the reversal position. So in the upright position, as you can see, the Magician is making a connection with what is above and what is below. With the Magician coming out in the reversal position for today's energy, it'll bring me to some of us like forgetting that it goes back to everything I was saying with the Virgo energy, where you can't be wrong for sharing your own experience when it comes to a thing. And you are probably already equipped and have everything you need to start that thing that you keep saying that you want to start. And with the Magician energy in the reversal position, it'll bring me to the thought of the person feeling like I'm not enough, or I'm not ready, or I don't have enough. It brings me to that thought where it's like, it's not that you're lacking resources, it's that you're lacking the ability to be resourceful. So it's like a person might look around today and feel like they don't have enough when it comes to a thing. And it's not that you don't have enough when it comes to a thing, it's your ability to see the things around you in a different light. Or it's your ability to do things in a different way. I think of how we could be accustomed to feeling like this is the way how this or that needs to be done. And it's like, it doesn't have to be done that way. Like, I think of being in the salon and say I'll get a new client that is coming from a hairstylist that moved away. And they're a loyal client where they've been going to this person forever. So the thought of going to someone else is just terrifying. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. And the thing that I will always say to them is, I know that my process is going to be different from so-and-so. My process more than likely will be different. So don't get lost in the process. Wait till I get to the end and see if the result is, wait till we get to the result and then tell me if there is anything that I could do different. where once I'm clear about what it is that we're trying to achieve. And for me, you know, when it comes to say that work, I'll like for a person to bring me probably 3 pictures of the front, 3 pictures of the side, 3 pictures of the back. And in the process of them looking for these pictures, they get to be realistic about what they're looking for. Because if they're bringing 3 of the same pictures, but of different people, of the front, the side, the back, sometimes people might have an idea in their head, but it's like they don't really want it as short as the picture. Where if they are looking at 3 different pictures, it's like, okay, are you aware that it is this short? Are you aware that this is this way? Are you aware that that is that way? And if it fits the profile of their face and everything and it's a go, that's where I'm like, okay, the way I go about doing this might be different from your stylist. So don't get lost or stressed out on my process because it's going to be different. But wait until the end and see if the results, if the results hit, if the result is what you're looking for. And things tend to always work out there. So I feel like, you know, we gotta be okay with the fact that, like, you know, the way you do things is going to be different from someone else, and that's okay. And that's what makes each person interesting, because their experience is going to be different. Like, I think of, like, say, a person might be thinking to do something and they're like, but there's already a bunch of people doing astrology. There's already a bunch of people doing this or that or the next. And it's like, yes, there's a bunch of people doing that thing or the next, but there's a group of people out there that can only hear from you because for whatever reason, they resonate with you. Maybe it's your tone, maybe it's your look, whatever. But, you know, with the Magician in the reversal position coming out, some of us today might be forgetting that you already have everything that you need. You already have what it takes to move forward. And it's time to just give yourself permission to do so. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you. I would love to hear from you before you go anywhere. And you can do that by dropping me a pink heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.